what I do? Welcome back to my channel. Sanita here. So I've been racking my brains trying to figure out what I'm going to do for this week's video. So I decided that I'm going to do my makeup and I'm going to answer a few questions. I went on to this website to basically just get some questions to talk to you guys with. So I'm going to do my makeup. I'm not really going to talk about any of the products, and I'm just going to answer some questions and let you guys get to know me with some random questions. So let's get into this. So let me just crack on with the first question. So the first question is, what's your favorite way to spend your day off? So currently I am actually on maternity leave, so my days off are basically every day because I'm not working. However, being a parent is a hard enough job in itself. So when I do get time to myself, that's not with the kids, I like to go and get my nails done. I like to get my hair did, get my eyebrows done, and obviously being in lockdown we weren't able to do all of these things. So yeah, I'm actually really happy to be able to go and do those things, and it is a little bit harder for me to get out only because the baby is exclusively breastfed. He will take a bottle if I'm out for a while, which is great because my daughter, she did not like to take a bottle in the slightest, so I don't need to worry about him in that sense, and it's really good because their dad will just take over and look after them, so I can get some free time to myself. So basically a day off to me is being able to just go and do something for myself, and it's normally like a pamper or like some household chores because Nova is currently nearly ready to start school, so we're preparing for that. Now the question is, what type of music are you into? So I am an R&B girl. I like R&B and hip hop. I prefer old school R&B, not gonna lie to you. I'm very much an old school girl. So when I say old school, when I used to go clubbing and stuff would be around the early 2000s. So that's my kind of music, like a bit of J-Lo, Ja Rule, those kind of Ashanti, that kind of music is what I grew up with. A little bit of Flow Rider, T-Pain, though that was kind of my bag. R&B, Brandy, Monica, all of them, that's my era. That's what I used to party to, and yeah, that is my kind of music. Nowadays it's still the same, so I still listen to this old school stuff. I love an old school playlist on YouTube. So yeah, so that's what I like to listen to. Alright, next question is, what does the best vacation, so holiday in our sense, have I ever taken and why? My favourite holiday would be when me and my hubby went to Portugal. We went to Albufeira in Portugal. It is one of my best holidays. That was pre-kids. It was actually our first holiday that we had ever been on together, and it was great. We went to the beach during the day, chilled out, went to the old town, did activities, and then in the night we went down to the strip and we partied and got drunk. It was the greatest 5 days ever, and it just cemented our relationship as well. Just made us realize that we actually really liked each other, even though our relationship had obviously gone further, but like going on holiday with a guy is a big deal. It's my first ever holiday I'd ever been on in a couple relationship, and yeah, I was kind of not bricking it, but I thought, oh my god, if we argue the entire time of this holiday, it's gonna be mental. But it wasn't. It was so chilled. It was so good. We went to a water park. Yeah, it was one of my best holidays that I have ever been. It is literally top two, not two, or whatever the saying is. where's the next place on your travel bucket list and why? So on my travel bucket list has always been South Africa. I really want to go on a safari. That is up there. I want to go and see the top 5 animals in their natural habitat. That is something I really want to do. I would love to go and sleep out in the outback. Like, when I tell you I'm mental for it, I absolutely really want to do that, and that is very much up there on the top of my list of things to do. Yeah, so yeah, South Africa on a safari, definitely next on my list of things to do. It might not necessarily be my next holiday, but it's on my bucket list and it's something I'm going to do before anything happens to my whole life and I get old and I can't travel or whatever stops me in life. I'm going to have that done and ticked off on my list 100%. So what are your hobbies and how did you get into them? So one of my hobbies is obviously makeup. I like painting my face, designing my face. It's my happy place. It's a place I go to chill. I don't have to think too much about things. I can just like be free. I used to always say when I was younger and also actually when I was older that I'm not creative at all and I can't create, and I used to really just like not put myself down, but that's what I used to say about myself, like I'm not creative. But to put a makeup look together, you need to be creative, like putting colors together, like even like thinking about color theory and just like planning the time to put a look together is creativity in my eyes. So yeah, it's really weird that all my life I used to think, oh, I'm not creative, and in actual fact I was creating all the time. But yeah, makeup is my happy place. Things I like to do, and I just switch off and I don't need to do anything. I can put on a TV program, I can listen to music and listen to a podcast, and I don't feel pressured. I don't feel like, oh, I need to perform or anything like that. I just am myself. And yeah, and I think that's also one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel as well, because anybody can start a YouTube channel. You have just got to want to start a YouTube channel. I've never been, I would say I'm not shy, but I would say I'm very wary of people. So I'm very observant, especially when I first meet somebody. Like, I'm not the chattiest of people, so it kind of feels normal to me to be sat here just talking to a camera, basically talking to myself is essentially what I'm doing. But I'm also putting myself out there because then I'm sitting and editing these videos for other people's viewing pleasure. So yeah, my hobby is YouTube, painting my face. Yeah, that's my hobby. So would you say you're more of an extrovert or an introvert? I am definitely an introvert when I meet new people, especially when I meet new people in new situations. I'm very observant. Not that I'm conscious of what I'm putting out there, it's just that I don't know, I wouldn't say it's shy, it's just that I'm not great at starting conversations, and it's something that I really want to like work on within myself. But if somebody came to speak to me, I would like have a good conversation. So if somebody is really chatty and they came and spoke to me, it would bring me out of my chattiness, but I wouldn't approach somebody to talk to them. So in that sense, I'm an introvert. However, with my friends and my family, I'm very much, they would probably say I'm an extrovert. I'm quite loud. I laugh very, very loud. I say silly things. I don't take myself too seriously. So in that sense, I guess it means that with different people, I'm not different, but until I get to know you and I feel comfortable, I am very much an introvert. What was the last TV show that you binged watched? So the last TV show that I binged watched was I May Destroy You. That was on BBC iPlayer, and it was very thought-provoking, but very right for this kind of time we're in, this weird pandemic that we're all going through, and situations. It just made people like sit back and like take stock of what's going on, made you look at actually things that women go through. I won't speak too much about it because I definitely think that everybody should go and watch it. It's very, very good, very well written. I can't remember the lady, I think she's called Michaela, I don't remember her surname, and I hope I got her name right. But the writing was superb. The last episode in the series, I was actually a little bit confused about it, and then I kind of like thought about what she was trying to convey in that last episode, and it was really, really interesting. I really, really liked it. There are only 12 episodes in the series, and they are 30 minutes each episode. So if you haven't watched it, definitely go and watch it because it was really, really good. Right, do you like going to the movies or prefer watching them at home? So it depends. So my favourite franchise of movies is Fast and the Furious, and I have watched the first 4 or 5. I think it's 4 or 5 I watched at home. I didn't go to the cinema to watch them, but from 6 onwards I've seen them only in the cinema. Me and my younger sister, we go and watch them, and we go to the cinema to watch them, and we watch them on D-box seats. If you don't know what D-box seats are, well, you need to get to know. So with action movies, there's seats that move. So like you move with the action, and when the cars are driving, you move. When there's a fight scene, you move, and it's like back and forth and side and side. It is so good and so worth it. Obviously, those seats are just a little bit more expensive than the normal seats, but we love it, and we are now currently just waiting for Fast 9 to come out. So yes, we will definitely be going to see that in the cinema, and it's something that we do together, and we really, really love watching it. And we watched it in D-box. It was actually supposed to come out this year, but obviously because of what's happening in the world, they postponed it to next year, and I'm actually really happy about that, because when it was due to actually come out, I would have been pregnant and I wouldn't have been able to go on the D-box seats. And when I tell you, my sister was like, well, I'm going on D-box seats, see you later. So I'm actually quite glad that they postponed it till next year, and now we both can enjoy it like we have been enjoying it for the last few years. Alright, keeping on the theme of movies, the question is, what is your favourite quote from a TV show, movie or book? Alright, okay, so people that know me know that I am really rubbish with accents, yeah, but this one line, it's from, what is it called? I always forget the movie. It's with Brad Pitt, and he's playing a pikey gypsy, an Irish pikey gypsy, and he sells them a caravan that's got no wheels, and he basically and they're like, what are we supposed to do with this caravan? And Brad Pitt's character turns around and goes, what the fuck do I want a fucking caravan with no fucking wheels? And I tell you, I just love it, and that is my go-to quote. I love it. I think it is hilarious because he fully knew that he'd sold them a caravan with no wheels, but he took them for a puppy show and got his money, and he was like, well, what do I want with it? Enjoy yourself. So yeah, that is my favorite quote in a movie. So next question is, what's one thing that can instantly make your day better? So as a parent, you can have some really, really stressful days, but when I tell you, like, a hug from your child, a smile from your child, compliance from your child can just turn that whole day around. Like sometimes my daughter will just go to me, oh mummy, I just want a hug. And do you know what, sometimes I just want a hug too, and it's just so warming and so nice, especially when you've had a rubbish day. She may have been the cause of the rubbish day as well, because she's been playing up, she's been having a bad day, so that can also contribute. But even though it was maybe them that contributed to that stressful day, just them being so sweet and so warm and compassionate can just turn your whole day around. Having a stressful day at work when we were in the office and stuff like that, coming home to my little girl and her just like telling me about her day, and she's a talker, she likes to talk like it's going out of fashion, and yeah, a nice day, a good day report from her, and she's just had a good day, that just makes me feel really good inside. A random question is how do you take your coffee? Fun fact, I don't actually drink coffee at all. I love the smell of coffee, I love making coffees, but yes, I dislike the taste of it and I don't drink it. I am a tea girl. Give me a cup of tea, I drink a tea. I drink a herbal tea. I never used to drink herbal teas, but when I'm growing into my own, I have started to like green tea I'll drink mainly, lemon and ginger and honey, or lemon and honey, I'll drink that as well, like those kind of things. I love a frappuccino. Yeah, that is my thing. So yeah, don't like coffee at all. This is an interesting question. What would the first thing you'd do if you won the lottery? So I've spoken about this with a number of people, and the first thing I would do is, well, the first thing I would want to do is definitely, I'd want to quit my job, depending on the amount that I got. I love my job and I love what I do, but the freedom to not have to work is just too tempting for me. I would be like, see you later. I would just want to like take a break, go on holiday. Like, I would definitely love to book my whole entire family, my immediate family, like my sisters, my kids, my mum, my auntie, uncles. I would love to just like take them on holiday, all be in a villa somewhere really nice with gorgeous weather, beautiful beach, like a beach, our own private beach. That would be wicked as well. That's what I would love to do. And then I just like to think about what I would like to do with the money that I just won. So there are some questions now about career. So if you don't know, I do actually have a job. I am a personal assistant in an insurance company and I love my job. I've always wanted to be a PA. I don't know why. It's that I'm really organised and I do like to organise other people. I don't so much like to do it in my personal life, funnily enough, which you might find weird. You might think, oh, everybody must come to you to organise like parties and stuff. But no, I like to do it in a professional environment. I could, obviously, the skills are transferable into my private life. But yeah, I am a PA and I love my job. But what's one favourite thing about my current job are the people that I look after. They are really down to earth. Being a PA is very collaborative, but also very much I have I was going to use a big word there, like I was going to be, so I have like the authority to be able to do certain things and help them out to an extent, but it's very much a very collaborative way, and I can like push back if need be, if they need to prioritize other things, and they give me the scope to be able to do that. And I've been doing that now for 2 years. yeah, I had my 2-year anniversary back in March, and yeah, I absolutely love my job. I look after 4 directors, so it is very busy, it's very challenging. No day is ever the same, and yeah, I think that's what keeps me intrigued, that keeps me coming back. Yeah, it can be stressful at times, especially during COVID, when we were starting to work from home. We had to adapt to different ways of working, but I think we did the best that we possibly could, and I think it worked for us, and yeah, I am looking forward to going back. So yeah, oh, I do want to say that I am using the Rachelleary Revolution palette. This is her ultimate goddess palette. This palette is so heavy, so don't try to hold it when you're doing your makeup, but the color way in there is absolutely beautiful, and a big massive mirror to boot, but it is very heavy, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend holding it whilst doing your makeup, but prop it up will be better. Okay, what annoys you the most? So obviously in jobs there's a hierarchy, and I don't mean within like the people that I look after, I mean just in terms of priorities. So it can be that you have put in a meeting, you've worked really hard to put in that meeting, and then something will come in and scupper it. So you then have to start from scratch, and you have to rearrange everything that you have just put in the diary. So it can be very frustrating, and also if you're trying to get all 4 directors into one meeting as well, that can be very stressful. And if you then spent a long time trying to do it, and then something else that's more important comes in, it can get quite frustrating, and you do just need to take a minute, breathe, be angry if you need to be angry, be frustrated, but at the end of the day, you're still gonna have to move that meeting, so don't dwell on it too much. And that's what I have learned, that if I need to vent, I vent, and then I move on. And when I say vent, I mean I vent to myself most likely, or to friends or family if I'm at home and I've noticed it's happened. What's the career highlight you're most proud of? So I have worked tirelessly. When I tell you I've worked so hard to become PA, I've been in administration roles, coordinator roles, and I finally was given the opportunity to be a PA, and it just made me feel really happy that my boss entrusted me to do this role. Yeah, best thing that I have ever done was apply for that job. And funnily enough, yeah, I was actually applying for an event role when I happened to see this this PA role. It's in the same company that I was working in. I was in a different position, and I was applying for another position within the events team, and because I wanted a change, I had just come back. I had been back from maternity leave with my daughter for a year, and I just felt like that I had progressed more, and I wanted more. So I wanted to do something different. So that's when I applied for this events role, and I happened to see this PA role as well. So I applied for that, and yeah, and I got that. So yeah, that is a career highlight of mine, was bagging, as they would say, I guess my dream job in that sense. And yeah, I absolutely love my job, and I love the people I look after, and I am looking forward to going back. Oh, the other question is, do you think you'll stay in your current gig a while? Why or why not? And yes, I will. Maternity leave does make you think about what it is that you want to do. You've got so much time off, and people are like, oh, but you've got a baby to look after. How do you even have time to think? But it does make me think about my future, what I would like to do. I do currently work in the insurance company. So I guess my next step I would love to work in a beauty company. That would be great, and obviously then my skills are transferable. So yeah, yes, I will say this is my current gig a while, and yes, I do love my job. Question is, are you more of a work to live or a live to work type of person? So I'm definitely a work to live type of person. So my job is also a means to an end, if that makes any sense. Like, I have a personal life, I have kids, so yeah, no, those priorities are definitely not the same as maybe they were when I was 20 maybe, or when I was younger. But yeah, being a mum does just make me think, yeah, that, well, actually, to be fair, I like to party. In my younger days, I like to party. I was a party girl through and through. So yeah, I do like to party. So basically, I did just go to work to earn money to go out drinking. So yeah, so technically that is what my life was like. So even now, I earn good money to be able to afford the things for my kids, to afford things for myself, to live comfortably. And I think everyone should do that. I don't see why your job should consume you like that. Even if I did a makeup job, I still think that I would have boundaries where I need to take a break. Like, you do really need to think about your mental health, your mental well-being. Like, you can't come and die. You've got one life. I just can't see why work would consume you so much. And then I guess if you love your job so much, then it's kind of working to live and living to work, in all ties into one. I guess it kind of interchanges with each other. I guess like people who like sing or do music or stuff like that, they see that as their passion that they're able to do, I guess. Am I just mad? Oh, I don't actually even know. I don't actually even know now. Definitely when I was younger, I worked in bar jobs and stuff like that, and I definitely think that I just went there to earn money, to drink, and that was it. So I guess it just depends on the time of the life that you're in, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. It depends on where you are in your life and what you are doing. Definitely when I was younger, it was just about partying and having a good time. And now I would be more conscious, like if I lost my job, I would be very, very worried. Obviously there are people out there that are losing their jobs right now because of the pandemic. So I guess, yeah, it can be interchangeable. What do you remember most about your first job? So my first job, I got through work experience. So in the UK, when you're in year 10, so you're about 14, 15, you go on a 2-week work placement, and I went to a place and it was called Baroque. It's no longer around anymore, and it was a little quiet bar, and I worked in the kitchen as a kitchen porter, and they also let me do like some basic chefing. And yeah, that was my first ever job. So I got that job after my 2-week placement. They offered me a job for 3 hours every Friday. I'd go in and they'd give me £15. So technically I was getting paid £5 an hour. I'm 14, 15 years old. Hey, that's easy money. I was working 3 hours over their busy lunchtime, and I did that the summer after the work experience. I did that the whole summer, and yeah, I loved that job, and I did it the following summer as well. I worked for them, and then also I really fancied the chef as well, but he was older. He was like 21, 22, and I remember when I went back the next summer, he wasn't there anymore. He actually had got sacked. I don't know why, but I was really upset because I only went back because of him, and that's actually pretty funny. And yeah, so that happened. And then what else? Then I got a job. Then my sister got me a job. She worked in a bar, and she got me a job glass collecting. So it was a Saturday night, and their pot man had called in sick or wasn't available or whatever it was, and she was like, oh, I've got a 17-year-old sister. So she called me in. She was like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, well, nothing. I don't know what 17-year-old is doing nothing on a Saturday night, but I was a loser. No, I'm joking. I really wasn't. I wasn't a loser. Anyways, I was at home. It was Saturday night. I was at home, and yeah, so she called me in. I went in and I glass collected for them that Saturday night, and then they offered me the job. So every Friday and Saturday night, I would go in and I would glass collect for them, and I could only work till 11 o'clock because I wasn't 18. So I'd come in, glass collect, and I wouldn't have to clean up at the end. And then that summer I turned 18 in the September, and I remember I was working the Friday night just before my 17th birthday, because my birthday was on Saturday, and which was really good. And yeah, they asked me if I wanted to stay longer, and I was like, yeah, why not? And they got me a whole cake. I had my first proper like cocktail, which my sister got me, and she didn't realize that I don't like Baileys, and it was a cookies and cream cocktail, and I remember I didn't like it, and I just gave it to her, and she got me a cheesecake. Again, don't like cheesecake, but she got me a whole cheesecake for my birthday as well. Yeah, and I stayed on, and then we went to this club called Boulevard afterwards. My sister didn't come with me, but I went with a few of the work people, and when I tell you, I got so drunk, it was ridiculous. I couldn't remember where I lived. One of the girls had to get in a taxi, so they had to phone my sister to find out where we live, put me in a taxi, she came with me, and then we went, and he took me home. So definition of hot mess was me on my 18th birthday when I woke up, and my mum had planned a whole dinner, and when I tell you I was hungover, it was not the one. But yeah, that was my first 2 jobs that I ever had, and yeah, great. Okay, so final few questions is about family. They put it into that category. So one of the questions is, how much time do you spend with your family? I spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time with my family. We like to spend time together, and that's special things that we like to do. Who do you most like spending time with, and why? Other than obviously hubby and kids, my sisters, definitely. I love spending time with them. They are my ride or dies. I've got 4 sisters. I have 3 older and 1 younger, and yeah, they are my life. I do have half brothers and sisters as well. I have 2 half sisters and 2 half brothers, but we're not as close to them as we used to be, but we're still in contact, and we can say hi, and we have their numbers, so yeah, there's no problems there. It's just that, yeah, we're grown, we all have jobs, and yeah, it just bees like that sometimes. One of the questions is, do you want a family of your own? So if this was a question asked when I was younger, it was always yes, 100%. I always used to think that I was going to have kids by 25. I was going to be married and have kids, and I actually didn't have my first child until I was actually 29. I turned 30. I turned 30 the year she was born. So much later, and not because it wasn't supposed to be, or I was supposed to have a kid any earlier. I think I would never have been able to handle a kid at 25. I actually had just met my partner at that time, and we was obviously living our best lives. 25 is a fun time of your life, and I do not regret having a kid later on in life in the slightest. I actually prefer it. I think I'm much more mature. I think the kids are getting the best out of me now because I'm much more comfortable in my own skin. I've worked out all of those partying times. I'm not really a clubber anymore. I used to club all the time, and now I'm more of a let's go to dinner and drinks kind of person, much more chilled. Yeah, so I wouldn't have it any other way because I got all of that partying and I still have fun now, but in a different way. And kind of like if I wanted to try, if I had a kid at 25 and I was still trying to go out clubbing and getting my mum to babysit and stuff like that, I don't think that would work because my mum would be like, here, I'll put it now. I didn't have kids. So I think I had kids at the right time. I was in a really good job. I had a really good partner. We had our own flat. So yeah, it was just the right time. And I think having a family is anybody's right time. Like my right time may have been 29, but someone else's right time would have been 21, 22. But when I think about what I was doing at 21, 22, this definitely wasn't conducive to having a kid. And I am grateful that I had that time to experience being young, being fun, being happy. Yeah, so that was it. One of the questions was, do you and your family have nicknames for each other? So me and my sisters within ourselves, we do have nicknames. I won't say what they are because they are personal to us. But you'll know what your nicknames are, and everyone knows what their nicknames are and why they're called what they are called, and it's just funny and it's jokes within the family. And yeah, I think loads of family have those kind of nicknames for their family. So it's kind of like our nicknames are an alter ego of ourselves, and I think we represent our alter egos very, very well. Okay guys, that is it. So I've actually got one question that really stood out to me that I would just like to answer before I head out. And what do you regret not doing in the last year? Well, one of the things about regrets, I always say that why would you regret something that you haven't done or you have done? I don't regret anything that I have done or haven't done, because the reasons why I have or haven't done them has led me to where I am now. Like sometimes I think, oh, should I have stayed on in school and done A-levels instead of going to college? But then when I think about who I met in college and what we did in college and the fun that I had that led me to my first job, that led me to friends that I met outside of school, it's kind of like everything has a reason. Like when I think about every choice that I made in my life has led me to where I am, and I'm not mad at it. And some choices that if I did make them, I probably wouldn't have got the job that I had got where I actually met my partner. I probably wouldn't have kids now, maybe. I might not be in the position that I am in. So I think everything happens for a reason, and the steps and path that you take in your life, everything will fall into place. Sometimes it might take the longest way round to get there, but I think the choices that you make in your life, you shouldn't regret it. You should try and see the positive in the reasons why you took that path, and don't doubt yourself. You may get somewhere the long way, but if you're talking about riches and finances, some of the most prolific millionaires and billionaires, they were not millionaires and billionaires until they were 40, 50, 60. So don't be mad at yourself. You will get there when you get there. If that's richness is what you want, or business is what you want, you will get there when you get there. So don't worry about it. I really like that question, and I wanted to answer that before I go. So this is the final look, guys. I don't know where I'm going. I think I'm going on a date, I guess. I was trying to go for like a carnival like vibe, but then I took these earrings out and I got and then I was like, and then I did this sleek hair bun, and I think it's like I'm going on a date. I'm going on a date, and I'm really, really excited, and I feel very feminine, and I love the green and everything. So guys, that is my final look. If you've got any questions that you would like me to answer, comment down below and I will answer them in the next video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm there. But I'll see you guys on my next video. Like this video and I'll see you later. Bye guys.